So it's going from now to.
Yeah, otherwise it'll. Yeah.
Shit.
I need the 80 first. Ari.
You want to talk or a video or?
It's gonna be a video.
Okay.
And you're just gonna talk from what's going on right now. And you're good.
Hi, I'm Sue Phillips. I'm delighted to be here at the Brand Conference.
Thank you.
Let's see how it's going.
Michael. Can you give me the 80 first, please? Yeah. Okay.
Let's see with my company name. Right?
Did you? We can redo it.
Okay, but hold on to that. But let's see if I do it. I'm the CEO of Soundfreeze, and I'll be talking about what your fragrance says about you. You know, it's really interesting how you look, how you feel, and also actually how you smell. It can be a very important barometer for your own personal judgment. So, what your fragrance says about you, be happy to explain. Thank you.
Yeah.
The best, the master.
You're famous.
No.
We was talking about it. I'm like, you gotta be Ari.
Yeah.
Most,
So that's just one way to use it. Like it's all interactive video. So within the video, you go on different journeys. Like it serves you different content, and then we can partner in like Hotels.com. You can partner in Yelp. That's interesting. User defined experience. Right. You know, because right now video is so stream. I show you video, you watch it. Right. But you don't get to, for instance, like let's say you release the video, you might be into startup and blockchain content, whereas like another TV shows, you can do it with, we're starting with like travel, you know, cause like, because like you land in the city, I'm into different stuff than the next guy.
yeah.
So,
It's like customized, oh, let me get these.
Sure.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
Like next up, like if you
Yeah.
have the agenda,
Okay.
you can put like next up, like,
Okay.
you know, stuff like that.
That's easier than trying to get out of it and then read. I think because
Good shot. Maybe there's no way for you to do it. Don't worry about it. Don't.
of that top chat,
Yeah, but that's just like chat options. Don't worry about
live chat. But there's nobody watching. Oh wait.
it. Yeah, it's okay. Nobody's really chatting. Don't worry about it. Though.
Okay.
Just let it roll.
Hey, Michael,
Okay.
can you give me an intro?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure. Wait.
I just got Jason.
Get my shirt on, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta represent. Just leave it.
On mine, take just background photos.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
But don't take it like.
Nice screensaver.
You know what we go.
Do you want the shirt?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as much as
Yeah.
like, just get this. I'm not like super concerned about it.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Here at the Brand U conference in New York, put together by Jasmine Sandler. We're excited. The most natural things for us. So I'm really excited to be here, you know, at the Wells Fargo Center, talking about that today with this crowd. I think it's going to be engaging. I think it's going to be.
Oh.
Yeah. I couldn't find any.
All right. It's okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
Time here.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Okay. All right, so we're doing the raffle first.
So, so it's just B-roll, right, Sean?
Yeah.
Oh, look, they doing the late raffle ticket. Wait, is this to Rachel?
It's like Michael Cera as his background. You can have yourself, Sean. That's gonna be my next video.
Okay,
Oh, man.
here we go. If you're not a sport fan, it's unfair to all the other people that may not win. So you gotta put it back and recycle it. That's true, and it is holiday season. So, all right, here we go. We'll do it together.
You ready? The number is 1854942. Jack won! Jack win the conference. You can all tackle him now. Okay, I now present you, Jack.
Yes.
Jack is from Atlanta, so everybody clap for him. It's the prize for the furthest traveled. Thank you. All right. Mission accomplished. All right, everybody, so we're gonna set up now for a panel here. Ari's in charge.
Right. Okay. So, Raul, Jack, Rachel, come up. So, Jack, do you want to sit? Thank you so much. Okay. Here we go.
Coming right behind you.
Good start. Not a good start to be late. We didn't have time to read.
Okay, here we go. This panel is specific to CEO branding and entrepreneurship. We're going to have a 30-minute panel discussion, and then we're going to leave 15 minutes towards Q&A. So we'll start with Jack. Jack won the. He won the prize. So Jack is host of Real Talk Live Radio and the CEO of JJ Media. Check out his website. He's got 4 million uniques to his website, his radio show every single month. So sweet talk him and maybe he'll get you on the radio.
Can I do that during my panel?
Yeah, you can start. You can start now. You can start. Not specific to females, although if you know a female, very, very related. Rachel, who leads Rachel Talks on Entrepreneurship and the Secrets of Business Building around the world, will share her advice to entrepreneurs on how to raise money and how to get it done effectively. We have Raul Davis, Forbes Council member. Raul will answer questions related to the power of the CEO brand, which is important to a lot of people in this room, including sharing the building blocks of creating a powerful CEO brand. So we'll start with Jack. Jack, why don't you give 30 seconds about your background?
My name is Jack McAdoo. I'm the CEO and founder of JJ Media Group. It's a parent company of a few companies. I have a recording studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Creative music studios. We do a lot of stuff for A-list artists as well as film. I have Real Talk Show Live, which is heard worldwide. It's a podcast and it streams live to Europe on Euro One. We have 224 Films, which is a film finance company. We get films into theatrical release worldwide as well. And that's what I do.
Hi, I'm Rachel Braun-Sherrill. I'm delighted to be here, and I really like how you're rocking. Not everybody could carry off that shirt, tie, vest combination. I have spent my career building brands and businesses, most of that with my business partner, Mary Yench, who's here in the audience and will be speaking at 2 o'clock. More profitable customers, new categories, new geographies, line extensions. I tend to focus in female sexual health and wellness in terms of business categories, which is everything from menstruation to menopause, or as my son says, for the love of God, do something out of the underwear. So I'm delighted to be here.
Companies unlock their top line revenue by focusing on how you build a strong CEO brand and give you more visibility in front of you to talk about this. Thank you, Earl. So I think it's very important for everyone here, and specifically put some pressure on the panelists to be able to share not only insight, but some very, very concrete steps, which is very important. People are paying for the event, they're here, they're spending the day. So it's important for them to walk away, I think, with very, very specific steps for them to be able to further build their brand. So let's start with Jack in terms of focusing on some of the building blocks. We'll talk about timeline, we'll talk about those, everything that follows after that.
I think Jasmine said it best earlier, when you start your brand, you have to really, really believe in yourself. You have to be authentic and real. Don't worry about what another brand is doing, what another company is doing, what another product's doing. You need to focus on yourself, believe in yourself, and just have this amazing drive and passion, and you'll succeed. The best way to know if your brand is going to work, you put it out there. It's plain and simple. You know, if someone, I'm not saying puts it down or anything like that, has a negative comment or what about it, just ignore it, look at it, analyze it, see if it's real, and it's not just hate. But real, with your brand, with yourself, if it's your personal brand, on social media, you absolutely have to be real. You have to be authentic. Don't fake anything because it won't work. That's the building block. That's the essence.
That's a good segue, since I wrote a book called Orgasmic Leadership.
There you go.
So no faking. I would say there's three things. First, I'll start with the concept that ideas are a dime a dozen. It's really the execution. So even if you're out there and you see other products that might be similar, it's how you talk about it, how you brand it. It's the steps you take to actually engage a customer in a transaction that makes it a business. Otherwise, it's just a very expensive hobby. So there are three things that I would point to. The first, and I think anybody anticipates, I've yet to meet the entrepreneur who said it was easier than they thought it would be, is that your business has to do extremely well in order to succeed. You can't do, most small businesses and most large businesses, in my experience, can't do more than a couple of things really well. Focus on the ones that are going to be the drivers of your business. And the third is, especially for entrepreneurs, I think for business people in general, is you need to have a method to re-energize yourself. Because, as I said, it's hard, it's long, it's at times energizing and at other times enervating, and you really need to have a way to regroup, restart, and get back in when you hit roadblocks, which you absolutely will. And my personal favorite is really never lose your sense of humor, because otherwise it really isn't that much fun. And I've always found that a good laugh, no matter how bad a day was, really gets me out.
A mentor of mine in the space, Chris Collins, taught me that you have two choices in life. You can either brand it or you can get labeled. If any of us came up here in a pair of sweatpants, we could say, "Don't judge me," but it'd be too late. So being labeled is kind of like having 5 loose fingers, right? There's not a lot of force behind it. People think different things of you, and there's no control over the message. Being branded is more like having a formed fist. It has more impact. You're controlling the flow of the message. You're helping people see how they shape how people believe you. See your brand, and so that's where you want to be. You want to really be branded as opposed to being labeled. You want to see the challenges of being labeled. Ask Jeb Bush after what happened to him being labeled as low energy in the presidential campaign last time.
Great, thank you. Let's talk about timeline and how much time on an average every day should someone focus on building their brand versus working on their business.
24/7. The only time you should be working on it is when you're sleeping. And sleep is far and between. Okay, you don't get much when you're trying to build your brand in a successful way. You just have to be extremely passionate. The timeline is you get up in the morning, you study, you look at what's out there, and you need to make sure that your brand, yourself, your product, whatever it is, fits a niche. You need to find it. You need to fill that gap. If it's not out there, then you need to fill it. And you need to make sure that it's going to fill it. If not, then you're just another brand. But you have to be, again, passionate, work at it from the time you get up until the time you go to sleep. and wake up early and get right back on it again. Study, see what's out there, and it will come. I mean, for me, for these numbers, these 4 million numbers, it took 12 years. But I worked at it every single day. Didn't give up. Where something fell, I worked on it. Spent time working on that 4 or 5 years, just kept doing it. So you have to be on it constantly to have your brand there, to get your brand out there, and then to maintain it. Maintaining is probably the hardest thing. Getting there is all right. It's just maintaining it.
I would say at the beginning, the distinction between you out there. So if I'm selling services under my name or my book versus selling consulting services at Spark with Mary, I'm okay as long as someone knows who I am. They pick up the phone. I don't care if they say I'm looking for Rachel or Mary or Spark. That's a win for me on all dimensions. My motto has been, I'm a big fan of sleep. So I would say 24/7, but that's not sustainable. Honestly, I could take a nap right now. My dad's favorite movie was Rollerball, which was a 1975 cult classic, which was sort of aggressive, play to the death roller derby. Not exactly a family movie, but we loved it. And right before every match, the referee would announce the rules, and he would say, no timeout, no substitution. And the translation in the movie was you play to the death, which was a little gruesome, but my dad translated that into you work as hard as you can, as long as you can, till you can't work anymore, go home, regroup, come back and do it again. So it really is, it's a marathon and a sprint. So I wish it weren't 24/7, and as I said, I don't think that's sustainable, but it's really, really hard work, and if you're not prepared for it, then building a business on your own or with a partner might not be the right choice for you.
Building your brand is building your business, because business isn't just B2B or B2C, it's H to H, human to human connectivity. As the CEO, as a CEO or as an entrepreneur, you are the chief storyteller for your business. And so if you're not willing to share that message, why should anyone be willing to listen to your business and focus on it, right? A lot of times I hear people say, oh, it's not about me. Well, to some degree, it kind of is about relentlessness. And I heard the story about Kobe Bryant that kind of blew me away, where a player had come into the Staples Center, thought he would get there early, start shooting around 1:30, about 6 hours before the game, and Kobe's already there, right? Guy's out on the court for an hour, hour and a half. Kobe is doing his moves like it's game time. The guy gets tired, leaves. That night, Kobe scores 40 points, and the guy comes up to him afterwards and says, why were you out there for so long? And he said, because I saw you out there, and I wanted you to know, no matter how hard you worked, I was going to outwork you. And that's the way you've got to be with your brands. Because when we first came into this space, we were the second company to focus on the term CEO branding. And we decided to shift to executive branding so they could have their own space. So that's the way you've got to be, is you got to be able to continuously push. And while you shouldn't be working 24/7, your brand should be.
No, that was very insightful. Noticing, I've always found, and I follow a lot of influencers on social media, some people follow me as well. I noticed that it's a very, very fine balance as to the people that are self-serving, right? The people that share information, and the people that are really just working on their brand. Where do you find the balance where there's actually a call to action? Because there's so much that you can, you put out there, you share people's information, you share insight, you share commentary, you add some humor, but at what point is it where and when could you mention, hey, by the way, I offer some consulting services. So where's that line?
So I think the first thing is, when we work with clients, we're not trying to contort who they are. You're trying to amplify more of who the person already is, because all of us have a uniqueness to us, and you really want to kind of identify that and push that further. And some people can sell better and can naturally be more promotional, and others can't. So I think it's important to be authentic, and that's one of the best ways to answer that question, because regardless of how your kind of personality is, there's a strategy that can be crafted kind of help you work through that. So how you come off is going to be the biggest indicator in terms of how you present that messaging, what you're the most comfortable with. So I think it's case by case. It's challenging to kind of give a universal answer.
I look to my customers or followers or readers or potential clients who tend to tell you when you've gone too far. Get a text. I don't get hate texts yet. Listen to that and incorporate it. I want to go back to the self-promotion, which I do think is very hard, and I would venture to say, and I know this is a generalization, it probably is in general harder for women to self-promote, but I would suggest get over that. You might go too far, you'll have to dial it back, but you must be out there because everybody else is. I would suggest working with an expert like Jasmine who knows how to manage that and patterns and knows what your tone should be on each channel. And again, listen to the feedback you get because those are the people you're trying to reach.
I think with me, it's a little different. I'm in media and entertainment, and it's all about the personal brand. My main driving force is Real Talk Live. And Tony Robbins actually told me this just a couple of months ago. He said, you're doing it right, but you're doing it wrong. And what that meant was, I had this show that has all these listeners, all these downloads. He said, try to enter your name in there, and I did. I was 10 million. He said, that's where you're wrong. He said, you're the brand. So I reversed it. So now I equal the car, which is Real Talk. So with me, I post memes. I have a real minute that I put up on social media 3 times a week, and it's just giving encouragement to everybody. And the show is Real Talk Live, and it is me. It's authentically me. I don't hold anything back. I'm not going to BS anybody. And the brand is me, who you sit here now. If I screw up, that's me, and I'll own it, and I'm proud of it. And that's how you have to be on the personal side, on a personal brand. When I said work 24/7, I sleep, but but I do get up. It is my passion. My show is my passion. I'm doing what I love. Before this, I was an entertainer. I worked with some of the biggest names you've ever heard of in music, and recorded with so many at a young age. And now I get to do this, and this is the passion. And as a personal brand, that's what you need to do. Don't do it as a job. Just be authentically you and love what you do. Because if you don't love what you do, it's going to show. It's absolutely going to show, and it's going to fail. I'm just being real. So.
I just want to add one thing. So both of them, high confidence. And when you're high confident, you can absolutely push more because you're not coming off as awkward. It's true, it's who you authentically are. If you are a more introverted person, I encourage you to focus more on storytelling and kind of get out the impact, the work you've done, and kind of share things from what you've experienced with your clients and lean on those stories a bit more. That's how you can kind of get around that if you're a bit more of an introverted person.
I want to ask about the where there was a tipping point for you guys, and you realized, you said, hey, wow, all these years of building your brand equity, now I'm starting to monetize, and now I'm starting to see return on investment. Thinking back on my career, when I started doing television for some of the news networks as an analyst, I wasn't getting the business. I also wasn't really getting the media landscape because I realized it's all about the frequency. Right, if I was on, in the beginning, like once a month, and twice a month, 3 times a month, 4 times a month, 5 times, and then several times a week. And it took, I think, about 5 or 6 years till it started kind of working for me. Tipping point for me was when I started getting called in and started getting paid for speaking engagements. So for me, that was the time where I look back, I was like, hey, all those years of like trying to kill myself, trying to get on the air, I'm starting to see an ROI. So let me ask you, Jack, when was the tipping point for you?
I'm still tipping. That's my hero right here. I think do everything that he's doing.
No, you're not tipsy. You're in the process of tipsy.
I don't know. I used to have another show, Poker Pod Radio was the name of it. I was a professional poker player, and I feel a void. I did. I feel the void, and because no one was talking about it, this is when poker had the boom. And I started talking and doing the show, and the numbers started growing. I hit a niche, and it was good. But that wasn't really who I was, so to speak. I wanted to get more out there, and I did. And that was kind of the turning point that, wow, advertisers like this. And that's where the money was. And I could only charge so much for an advertiser because the show wasn't out there in everybody's face, and now it is worldwide, mostly in Europe, but now I can go to an advertiser and charge a little bit more. Speaking like I'm doing now, I'm kind of getting off more into, because I enjoy it. I love sharing little and something like this, intimate. It's like, but I'm getting off into this, and eventually more of the paid stuff will come to me because I do have a story and I do want to share, and it will impact you. The story that I have will impact you for sure. I don't want anyone in this room to ever go through what I had to go through to get here. You know, you will have some ups and downs, but I had some major ups and downs, and that's what the turning point is for me. Just you know, it's now actually.
So you've had so many careers, I just wanted to add a few. I used to be a rockette and an underwater explorer. I didn't put that, but I just thought it sounded good. You're speaking to Tony Robbins. Oprah called me right before I got here. In terms of tipping point, what I would say is there are multiple ones. Your business will often go in cycles. So over 20 years, whether it's consulting or when Mary and I were running a female sexual health business or now writing a book, there are ups and downs. I would say for me, when I speak, I want you to help me with my business. I think for me, when people are just randomly reaching out to you through LinkedIn and hiring you, that to me was a tipping point that says this is bigger than the individual conversations and the individual relationships I've had and the network I have, and it grows it exponentially. So that's what I would say when people that you don't know, who have never worked with you before, find you and want to collaborate.
So it's word of mouth, and I know it feels good also, right? So it's part ego, it's part, I think it makes you feel good, and it's also starting to see the fruits of your labor when, like what you said, you're not advertising, and people are starting to come to you, and I think that's what they say about public relations too, right? It's like they don't, you know, they heard about you, they don't remember where, but your name's been out there and want to work with you.
I was gonna say that's cool. I mean, you're where I want to get to.
But I want to
Get here.
I want 4 million followers and I want to be on your show.
But you see how it works? I mean, it's cool because I want to get to that level where people are calling me like that. They want to be on my show, or you know, I'll get them on my show to talk about their product, and boom, they soar. You know, because they have 4 million ears. I want to get to this. I mean, I'm known in Europe big time, but I want to hear and have what you've got, and that's a goal. You know, so I'm going to watch her brand.
Now I feel a lot of pressure.
So for me, it's interesting because my first associations with branding were kind of negative. I remember being an undergrad and wanting to be the Secretary of Judicial Affairs in the student government, and I thought because I had done a lot of campus, I was entitled to win. Well, I was running against a young lady in a popular sorority, so I lost. That next year, I decided to run for a higher position in student government. I made sure I was visible on campus all year because that's what I needed to do, right? That was a necessary evil. This time, however, I had to run against a football player. So what I did was, there was a young lady in that same sorority running for a number position, and I asked her if we could be running mates, and I would put her all over campus, and I won, right? So I kind of saw branding initially as a necessary evil, as a thing that you kind of had to do. It wasn't until my mentor described for me that personal branding is the ultimate journey in personal development. And if you think about that, you know, I heard him once say, you can't fire a cannon from a canoe, right? Because you have to have a strong foundation, okay? And so your brand is your foundation. It's the thing that allows you to send the right message as it relates to what a tipping point is, because it certainly was for me.
I just want to point out one of the important things Raul just said is he lost the first time and then he ran again. So failure, I'm not one of those people who says failure is great. I think failure is necessary, but it really is painful. And the bigger the failure in general, the more pain you experience. But going out there again is, to me, truly what courage is. And just the way you told the story, oh, so I didn't win. It sounded like it was less than 30 seconds till you recovered, and then you came up with your game plan. And that's sort of what you need when you're in their cycles every day and from it.
So it sounds like if we were to sum up all the information that you guys shared, it sounds like the building blocks are the information you want to get out there, and obviously in a very, very authentic way. The second one is being authentic, right? And then figuring out obviously how to amplify that. So, I mean, I would say pretty much those would be the three areas. So we're going to open up for some question and answer. So who would like to start? It's an opportunity to promote yourself, so you can actually stand up and introduce yourself and plug yourself. So there we go. Okay, this is the first step in branding. Wait, but it has to be authentic.
Absolutely, always authentic and genuine. My name is Eric Cabral. I'm the founder of On Air Brands, and I just had a question. So during the cycles, like, success is very cyclical, that whole journey. At one, I'm always talking to my wife about like, oh, I did this. There's always these micro successes. So during your journey, when do you actually look in the mirror or lay in bed at night and think to yourself, I've made it? Like, is that ever gonna happen? Because I always feel like these little things, only my wife will listen to me, but I just wanted to hear from each of you.
I think it depends on how you're made. Like for some people, achieving a certain level of success is enough for them, and that's cool. And it's nice to be content. I think that for some of the most successful people in the world, whether you're talking about the Elon Musk who, his next thing is like, hey, let's take us to Mars. Or, Tom Brady, who can already have won 4 Super Bowls, be down 20-3 in one game, and for 99% of players are going to quit. For him, he's like, we just got to score 26 more points and we'll win, right? And so it depends on who you are. The other thing I just wanted to add is an aspect to this that we didn't touch on, which is just kind of the nuts and bolts of it. Like there was a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, it's time to make the donuts, because you've always got to make the donuts, right? So there's an aspect of this where you've always got to be doing your social media every day, posting consistently. You've got to be doing your PR and your outreach with the media. You've got to be pitching for speaking engagements. You've got to be working your LinkedIn, as Jasmine would say. And you've got to constantly think about what is next. So I think it's harmful to settle, unless if you've really attained where you want to be, that's cool. For the rest of us, I think it's a continuous trajectory up, and, perfection can be met in fleeting moments, but to maintain perfection or to get to that next level, you got to keep going.
I would agree. There's no absolute in that. But what I do, to your point, Eric, is I celebrate the milestones. So I wrote this book, and I said, if someone other than my mom signs a contract that they want to pay me to think, I celebrate that. But I do think that it doesn't have to be how you live or where you live or the kind of clients you have. It's probably a combination. And so I really focus on the small victories.
The unconscious benchmarks, everything that just happened, celebrate it. You've made it. If you started out with your dream and your vision, and just keep growing. And once the bigger and better it gets, don't get complacent with it. Don't get stagnant, because then it'll end. You just want to keep going. I don't ever want this to end. And I mean, being here is amazing for me. And then tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I might be doing something this afternoon that I dreamed of doing. So that's another, I've made it, and just network, because that's how you make it.
Okay, so we have time for 2 other questions. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sheila Crowley. I like to call myself the Purpose Doctor. I work with women who have been out of work anywhere from, a month to 25 years, and help them find themselves again and get back to work. And I was just curious for each of you, we know, and I saw a slide about it, I've seen it multiple times, kind of how do you posit your differential, right? There are many people who work with women trying to get back to work. So I guess I was just curious, in your journey, did you have this moment where you realized that your differential was actually not the right one, and then you had to kind of course correct?
So I'm not going to answer your question and give you credit for something. You have branded yourself as the purpose doctor. That's very important. Having a tagline or something people can associate you with is a very key way to differentiate. That's just something we didn't discuss earlier, but I wanted to point out.
That's a good one.
You could pass.
Yeah,
No pressure.
I love what you're doing. I mean,
I love what I do.
really.
To me, in consulting and strategy and coaching, which tends to be more amorphous than manufacturing and selling a product, is really to connect it with pragmatic results. So a lot of people talk about coaching, but I would be interested if I were going to hire you to say, well, of the people who've been out of work 25 years, how many of them have you helped get a job? How many people have increased their confidence and sent out 20 resumes? I would look for metrics that suggest that what you're doing results in outcomes that people might not be able to get somewhere else.
Excellent, thank you.
Hello, my name is Amrish Kumar. I'm an assistant professor from India. I work with Amity University, and here we are with 17 students from India. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I have a simple question. To being a brand, you have to be consistent, and you have to also know that customer is not loyal. So, to survive in the market, you have to be consistent. So I would like to know things from you. Right now, you're enjoying a sense of achievement, and we all are listening to you. In your field, in your area, how do you see life and market right now?
Thank you.
Well, again, for me, it's a little different because I'm media, so I don't have the product or anything like that. But as far as media goes, it was a reach for me to get out there. And my show is massive in India. You guys are the #1 country, believe it or not. But yeah, it's just reaching out. For me, that's what it was. Just keep going and going and going. I know. Is that it?
I would add that you have to be clear on what you're not willing to give up in your brand, the things that you must stand for. So when larger corporations who are more conservative say, wait, don't you do all this stuff in female sexual health? I'm not sure we're comfortable with that, and we do get that. Then I'll say, that's absolutely part of what I do. It's how I get access to some of these companies that you want access to, and that's part of who I am and what my brand is. So you need to be comfortable with that. So I would say there are things that must not be eliminated from your brand, and if other smaller pieces aren't working, you can tweak them, but fundamentally, what you stand for, I think, should be consistent, even when there's
Group company, so very familiar with India. And the evolution I've kind of seen in the marketplace is that there's a continual increasing push towards authenticity. I mean, it grows, it seems. So I would say that that's probably been one of the biggest shifts I've seen in the marketplace is the continuous seeking of authenticity, and that even out
On the hot seat right now. When I started my career, I didn't understand the value of messaging, and quite frankly, it was confusing a lot of my potential audience. And I didn't know what the word storytelling was, to handle video, and define exactly what storytelling is.
Thanks. I think when people gravitate towards video, there's a reason why people consume video at huge numbers and deploy video. It's just now the internet can support it. The bandwidth of your video or 10% of your video, what the conversion rate is on that video. So I think that speaks a lot to the future of our.
Put some of the students here from Amita University on the hot seat. We hear the term, and not to age everyone in the audience here, but I'm going to age everyone in the audience. So we're probably 15 to 20 years older than you guys. And I'd like to hear from your perspective, you become an influencer.
So,
stand up.
Yeah, my name is Isha. I'm from Amity University. I would like to say, I would say the younger generation is still on Instagram and Snapchat mostly. And if you want live, everyday updates, you would go on Snapchat. But if you want a news feed sort of, like a timeline view, you would go for Instagram. And you can go much larger audience so there because you have public profiles and so on,
Would you love, no, thank you for that, women's or individuals in your own demographic?
Depends on the content, because National Geographic and all, I usually see people of your age group who have more experience.
Wait, let's actually put the pause on that. So, yeah, God, yeah.
No, if it's funny videos, like
I put myself into that. That was my responsibility. Go ahead.
if it's silly stuff, like it's funny stuff, it's like mostly our generation doing stupid thing. Like it's like exploring, it's like something informative. Like then we usually have people who are of more who are older than us, who are more
Seasoned.
Yeah, seasoned. Yeah, that's what seasoned.
You're not doing any favors though. That causation is not equal correlation. If you're asking these people where they're hanging out, where their audience is, if those people's audience has nothing to do with these people's audience, and they go over there and start doing that, that's a waste of speak.
No, but I hear that, I appreciate it, but I want to break, if I'm selling a product, I want to break into their demographic.
Bullshit, not necessarily. Yeah.
But
Not
if I, well,
if your
if I,
product reaches that market, yes. But if it's she who's selling to people dealing with menstruation, I guarantee you might not want to break into that market, right? So
I want to hit that demographic, I'm just asking for insights.
if you want,
Right, no, I do. I want insight. I want to know where your friends are hanging out, how do you become influencers, because I have a product again, exactly, I don't want to hit up the season demographic, I want to hit up this demographic, so just getting the insight for me is very, very important. So, no, but I appreciate what you're saying. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Ariana Chetri, I'm from India, from MD University. What I feel is like basically, it depends on the product that we're looking into, and if it really interests us, I don't think so like any social platform would matter. Like for me, if I follow Instagram for fashion, I make it a point, I get up and I go to my favorite model and like scroll through her page, or if I'm following someone like the updates. Whereas Instagram, I use it to see other people. So
Excellent. Okay, cool. Last comment, just to sort of divide the room so you'll understand the grandparents in the room. There's some. Wow, just to give you an idea.
Directly over here.
Okay, active. Okay, it's a handful on this side, so. Instagram, there we go. Wow.
Well, I know where I need to be live streaming.
How about MySpace? Okay, good. So we're on.
Yeah. Try my best. Rachel, this question is for you. My name is Ajay Korean, and I have a company called Promoting Talent. So we're all about what you mentioned, that every company has to do two things well, or 2 to 3 things well. So I'd love to hear from you and the other panelists about how do you filter, because as a founder of a startup, so many opportunities come to your way. So how do you filter down to those 2 or 3 things that you absolutely must do well?
That you have to do some hard health if someone calls you, but then you have to make it with discipline. And it's really a trial and error kind of thing. It's really hard to say no. It's really hard to say no to someone who's going to pay you, but you have to think, is this going to promote or push forward the brand, the equity, and the business model that I'm trying to achieve, and make the decision.
One of the things I learned that really time prioritization allows you to, in the morning, instead of checking your email first, go off your memory in terms of what are the 3, 4, 6 things you really want to get done today, and focus on that. And one of those things should not be clean your email inbox. It should be the real strategy, the real activities that are going to push the business forward. Because otherwise, you can just be endlessly on a cycle if you're just in your email inbox all day, waste 10 hours and feel like you really not didn't get anything.
Just prioritize everything. Really, from the time you do meditation, I really do. Just, you gotta give yourself some time, and then have the strategy. And then in the beginning, I took whatever came. You know, whatever came my way, I took it, and then figured it out along the way. And then I was able to choose the bigger and better clients and contacts that I had. And in the beginning, just go after everything you can get. You know, if they're coming to you, then that's a sign you're doing well.
Partner for 20 years, who not only is a business partner, but as Sage directors, you need to have people that you can bounce things off of, because when you're in it, you don't always see clearly. So one of your key objectives when you're building your business is to create this group, whether it's 2 or 10 people, that you can go to for specific issues to get their feedback and test out where you are. You know, I'm thinking of walking away from this, what do you think?
Great, thank you. A big round of applause. Please get their contact information. We've got loads of information that I'd like to share on the good people to know. So thank you guys.
I win the tickets, I'm just thinking.
Okay, everybody, you are in for a very when you merge the power of pure creativity with ADD. I personally have it, and I have since I was little, so I know that that's an important thing to get past and help. And make it work to your advantage. An author, entrepreneur, and corporate speaker, this worldwide connector is recognized worldwide for radically founder of Haro. Reporter out. How many of you guys know about Haro? Anybody that has anything to do with PR know about Haro? Good. Okay. Lines offering them more than 200,000 sources around the world looking to be quoted in media. So Haro is extremely important when it comes to that. It's currently the largest free source repository in the world, sending out over 1,500 queries from worldwide media each week. Haro's tagline, everyone is an expert at something, I love it, proves over and over again to be true as thousands of new members join helpoutareporter.com each week. In June of 2010, less than 2 years...
I'm just gonna stand here.
Right.
For the panel, and I'm kind of glad I did, because they said some things that I kind of want to talk about a little bit. Great. How many of you currently run a company? Great. How many of you flew recently? What a great flight. Keep your hand up if you had a great flight. What made you had a great flight? What made it great? What's your name? Monty, what made it great? Explain. What happened? Oh, they give you snacks. Snacks are the shit, right? Awesome. Okay, so she had a delay and they gave her snacks. That was a great flight, right? They didn't let you fly the plane or shit, right? You didn't, like, there wasn't anyone sitting next to you with like you could date, didn't like set you up. No, okay. Monty, you signed what's called a contract of carriage. That meant that you paid an airline to send you to a certain place at a certain time and give you a certain seat and then take you back. You get that right. You were delayed and they gave you a snack. In your mind, that's a great flight. About 3 hours early, because they demand that. God help you if you don't have pre-check. You get on the one line that looks like it's moving, and it does until you get up there, and then for some reason they look at you that, no, terrorist. Terrorist. No question about it, so get her. Okay, so whoever's still mic'd might want to not be. Thank you. Okay, so you get to a little less dignity. Now you only got 20 minutes to make your flight, but that's okay. It's gate 4, it's right there. So they changed it. They didn't tell you, right? Your app didn't update, right? Now you're gate T4A, then like, is that your next 6 hours? So the fact that you weren't taken to be awesome, you want to do that, you want to dead. Own everything. And I'm in a really snarky mood today. Last night my kid was playing, she's 5 years old, she's playing Metro. A little bit better beginning. Stuck means the following. Number one, it means like, I'm a skydiver. I got about 500 skydives under my belt. I have my own gear, jump myself. I've had hypoxia. It's fun as hell. It really is. It's like being high really for cheap. But the problem is that when you're hypoxic, you can't do shit. All right, when you're hypoxic, you can't add 2 plus 3. Entrepreneur has first. You can't do anything else. You want to be great? Do great stuff by taking care of yourself first. Eat a goddamn. All right, the people who are sitting out here that you're successful, and it's been a lot. Don't feel like you're supposed to be doing it anymore. Ask your day. Would you have a family? I wouldn't have to be on TV. Own it. You're going to screw up. That's transparency. Second rule of customer experience, relevance. Be relevant to your audience. I'm one of the few verified accounts on Instagram. So the point is, own what you're doing. Be relevant to them. If my audience is not on Snapchat and they're on Facebook, you damn right I'm marketing on Facebook. But if I'm trying to reach you guys, yeah, I'm going to know where you are. How do you understand what your audience is? How do you be relevant to them? Guys, look, hear me, kill me here. Ask them. Don't ask a 19-year-old, hey, where are you? You know, where's your audience? If you're not marketing to them. Love Ari, absolutely no offense to him. I get what he was trying to say. And a friend of mine, 15 years ago, 94% of they weren't reaching. So what do? We launched a Facebook channel, a YouTube channel, a photos channel, an email newsletter, mailing list. What happened? Donations went up by 37% in a year. And they saved over $500,000 in printing, mailing, and reproduction. What would happen if you started a company and you actually listened to your audience and they said, hey, I increased my revenue by 37% because I listened. That's relevance. Rule 3 is not Twitter, it's a mobile message. The only reason Twitter is of our current firestorm of an administration. That's the only reason our current that Twitter's still alive, in my opinion. Twitter's fun. The 12% of America has sent or received a tweet. Over 90% has sent or received a mobile message. Where's your audience? Understand where your audience is. 71% of the world has sent or received a mobile tweet. Less than 20% of the world's ever even heard of Twitter. Where's your audience? What does 140 characters mean? If you have 140 characters to reach your audience, Jessa, J-E-S-S-A, not Jessica. I bring her home an email that night. Mr. Shagman, just want to let you know what a pleasure it was, and we're so thrilled that you trusted us to take care of your wonderful daughter, Jessica. I need you to be 1% better than that. That's relevance, that's brevity. Rule 4, top of mind. You want to be the first person that people think of when they buy the product you sell? Guess what? It's not about self-promotion. You know what self-promotion is? Who haven't I picked on? I picked on you already. What's your name? Yeah. Sonia, let's imagine you and I are at a bar. We're on opposite sides of the bar. Okay? In this magical world, I'm drinking it and it has no negative effects on me. So I meet you at this bar, I see you over there, I go, Sonia, you don't know me, but I'm freaking awesome. Seriously, no, sorry, I'm that good. You should finish your drink right now and come on with me. You're going to be church. That's exactly what Sonia's going to do. But, what's your name in front of Sonia? What if, and Sonia goes to, she's like, holy shit, that's Peter Shagman. I've heard him speak, so we're going to tell them. So what do? Let other people tell them. How do you do that? You be 1% better than what they expect. Barry Diller used to do that all the time. How do you be 1% better? The easiest way in the world, if you do nothing else, is self-promotion wrapped in bacon. It's like how you give a dog a bone. Everyone loves bacon. You do that list together. Transparency, relevance, brevity, top of mind. Here's the thing. I just told you I have 5 minutes left. I want to take questions. Write this down. 522-9234. That is my mobile phone. It rings to this phone. Don't call it now, because my ED will go off and I won't. And then I go and I start my day. Now, what time do I go to bed? Want to be an influencer? I hate that term. Even though I hate that term. Motorcyclists and me. Why? Well, Specialized understands that if they only sell to the people that win triathlons, they're not going to make a lot of money. They can sell to people like me with more money than brains, but who like to cycle. I'll be on my ridiculously expensive Specialized bike that they sent me in Central Park, biking all around. Someone will reply to me on a Sunday morning. For that, I'm at Peter Shankman on all the socials. Anything I say is public. Feel free to follow. Feel free to share. I consider it an honor. By the way, the next time you want to tweet or share something that someone on stage says, guys, you don't have to hide your phones. Most speakers, I teach at university as well. Most speakers know when you're on your phones. And the reason is because no one's ever, in the history of time, no one's ever looked down at their crotch and smiled. So, get on your phone whenever you want, just hold it up. It's 2018. At Peter Shankman on all the socials, I encourage you to reach out. And by the way, one more thing. If a suit and tie isn't your thing, don't wear a suit and tie. I'm pretty, it feels comfortable. This is me. That's it. Simplify your life. It's a lot easier. I love talking about this stuff. I'm happy to continue. I know anyone take questions. So I'll leave you with this one last thing. This sums up everything we talked about. 2 guys are in the wood. This is no, I just need questions. All right, we got time for two questions and I'll see. I thought you were raising your hand.
I am raising my hand. Hi, I'm Rachel. I've heard you speak before and I've met you before, so thank you so much for your comments. Customer service. I could never raise my hand for having a good flight because each one sucks 1% more. So as a person who runs a business, I'm always nervous about publicly shaming another company. But United owes me $1,600 for a horrible experience, and I would like some suggestions about how to help them be 1% better or $1,600 better.
So just document everything. You're not going to get, if you have a story behind it, you're not going to get it right. You're not going to get it in a tweet. Write a post about it. Share that post, but tie it to something bigger, right? Tie it to why it's not, tie it to why it happened, tie it to what they can, offer them 10 ways that they can improve. Create a listicle. I hear the young kids today love those listicles and that the buzz feeders and things like that. Write a listicle, right? But target it to something more than just, hey, you guys suck, give me money. And I will say this, one of the things that I do, I travel at it's like asking for the manager, the person already, yes, I'm the lead, why, what's wrong? I go, hi, these are for you, but you gotta share them with your coworkers. And I walk to my seat. I will not get on a plane without giving a bag of M&Ms to the flight attendant. Why? I'm already upgraded. I fly with the amount I fly, I'm already upgraded. I don't drink, I'm not looking for the free alcohol. I do it because it makes the flight attendant's day a little brighter. And what happens when the flight attendant's day is a little brighter? Yes, airlines will screw up, they use suck on occasion, but ask yourselves as customers, what can we do to mitigate that process as well? Because chances are they've been yelled at by 400 people also, and this is their 8th flight of the day. One more question, I think? Sir.
Hi, my name is Goswami. I am from India. Actually, I have a question that how to build your brand strong so that it can sustain or survive in today's competitive, tough competition in market. Because you have to take care of a lot of things like oligopoly, price leadership, and secondly, how to use marketing myopia because we keep on
keep adding new features. Does your audience want those features, or are you just doing it because they look cool? Ask your audience what they want. Their audience might not want. Facebook Messenger just released a new version of Messenger today, and then sent me an email saying they released a new version of Messenger. That's bugged me this morning. I didn't make that. Audience what they give them exactly what they want.
No, go ahead.
No, you're announcing this.
Because it's alcohol, right?
You're the alcohol.
Okay, fair enough. But it's not indicative, actually, don't drink. But, you know, it's a cool bottle.
But it's a gorgeous bottle.
And it's our new friend, Gitty. Gitty in the back, say hi. Gitty just started this company. She's building it organically. We started developing a really cool business relationship, and I love what she's doing. And why don't you stand up and give just 30 seconds how you started it, and then we're gonna raffle it off.
My mom will actually love Kahlua, which is a coffee liquor. It's not kosher anymore. So about 8 years ago, I decided I was always giving it away, and then I started selling it out of my house. So really, a lot of people were asking for it. So I actually launched a brand.
How many have you sold? How many children do you have? Because I know you have a busy household. And how do you balance the two?
I have 3 children, boys. Did you give the business? I'm like, well, right now I'm hiding in a closet because I was at work and called me. And other than that, I'm a working mother. So, well, honestly, to that, my kids are passive because there are 3 businesses that I think lower. I mix it with 5.
Great, thank you, Gitty. So a round of applause.
My drummer's not here. All right, so here we go. I'm not gonna let Jack McAdoo win. Again. The number is 185.
So come up. Actually, it'd be great. Gitty, do you want to get a picture with the winner? Because you're the author of this alcohol.
Are you introducing Sue? Yes? Yes. Thank you. Right, so we
ahead.
Any strategy, inspire and delight them, and create interactive and exciting team building exercise. They're native South Africa, and after a hugely successful career in many blue chip companies in New York, including on Furstenberg, my wife would have a field day with you. Who will also share her knowledge and expertise with you so you can understand the power of fragrance as a marketing tool. Everyone, round of applause for Sid.
Wow. Hi, everybody. How are you? You having a good time today? Yes. Wonderful. Was Peter amazing? Yes. And the panel before as well. So I'm so thrilled to be here. Yeah, it's in. It's just loading. Oh, okay. Yes. It's
Excellent. Before I get started, how many of you actually wear fragrance? Excellent. Sense after. Okay, excellent. So I'm so excited to be here, and I really feel that it's really important. My whole sort of passion is, what does your fragrance say about you? So my mission, our mission, is to reflect your personal brand through the magic and the mystery of fragrance. And to lift scent out of the bottle and to hear about for people is, we want interactive experiences are really very, very powerful today. I discovered the power of scent over the last 20-something years in my career. I honed my Lancaster, Burberry, and the wonderful thing about fragrance is that when I don't smell wonderful, we're in trouble. It's my guiding passion, and from ingredients through nature, and also because fragrance is so connected to memory and emotion. Alzheimer's is very, very important to me. Unfortunately, my mom suffered from dementia and Alzheimer's. And so because of the connection of memory and emotions to fragrance, Alzheimer's is a very important factor for me, and we do a lot of fundraising initiatives. Because of course, memory and emotions are triggered by scent. Our fragrance is really created through sense of science and art, because our FDA doesn't forbids us to use fragrances and ingredients from animals, and also from the lab fragrance. I never heard that in the 20-something years of my career. Iconic fragrances, classic fragrances such as Chanel, the designer fragrances such as Obsession and Eternity, celebrity fragrances. How many of you remember Liz Taylor's fragrances? And then, of course, celebrity fragrances are now a little less popular. And now, does this work? I'm going to put the video on. Yeah. Can somebody help me with this, please?
Go ahead. Can I have?
There's a video.
Hello, I'm Sue Phillips, and I'm so happy to talk to you today. Right now, everything is about personalization. People want their own images and their own personalities reflected in whatever they do, whether it's food or clothing or digital notifications, as well as fragrance. And so I have been at the forefront of developing custom fragrance initiatives. Corporations, for team building events, for mother and daughter events.
So grateful to have the opportunity to blend some fragrances to try to create a brand scent that will help our customers realize our brand promise. Thank you very much.
This was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had with fragrance. It was totally unique, and I got to spend a real blissed-out afternoon at the Centurion, creating my own custom fragrance.
I can't believe I was moved from this, but was not expecting this at all. I'm not an emotional person,
So, thank you, Sue. This is from my custom fragrance number 33, which symbolizes a really important year in my life. So, this is my first time in some of these gold events. It's really nice, really simple, guys are really friendly, and the smells are amazing.
I feel like I'm in the penthouse with a view of Manhattan, and for my day fragrance on a yacht going around Manhattan and just sipping champagne.
Can't even explain how awesome it's going to be to have Summer 84 as the cologne choice, and nobody else can have it because it's mine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had no idea which scents and fragrances I gravitated towards until I smelled them all. And honestly, each one was so unique and so provocative, but I narrowed it down to these 5, and I smelled nothing but it. I love it.
It was such a great experience hearing all the stories that we did, and I think that it's a wonderful experience in your own.
I think it's one of the different aspects of my personality, sort of that softer scent, but then with a little bit of a pop of, I don't know, what do you want to call it, whatever it is, it's good.
So I think this is enjoyable. I think this is very fresh. And oftentimes when you smell it, just the vanilla, it's in the front. I was gonna say, this tastes enough to you.
Fantastic, learned so much, got to smell so many different flavors and profiles, and it was wonderful to have an opportunity to get to know our coworkers and make them better. Outside the box, not going to a restaurant, not going to the movies. That says, I love you, and let's get it on.
That's for questions. Anybody have any questions? Yes. Oh, well, you can do that. You can come to me and I'll give you my card at my perfumery center. And by the way, in your goodie bags today, there's a little gift for everybody. This is purple because I'm passionate about purple. But there's a gold one and a black sachet with different fragrances: fresh, floral, woodsy, oriental. So that's my gift to each of you. And if you'd like to contact me, my information is in the, there's a card in here, and speak to me afterwards. Anybody else? Yes. That's a really great experience. How did I know I was so passionate about experience? Well, you know, I'm an entrepreneur who's become a entrepreneur, and I trademarked that. I never knew that I was passionate about fragrance. I just knew that I loved fragrance. And it was just a series of accidents. I'm originally from South Africa. I was a singer and an actress. Came to America because I really wanted to pursue a career, and I didn't love what was going on in South Africa. And I couldn't get a job because I didn't have a green card. I couldn't do anything in acting because I wasn't part of the, I didn't have a membership to the unions. So I worked from an immigration attorney. I got my green card, and a year to the day, I went and I had my, I looked for a position. And because I could stand up in front of people and speak, they thought I got a position at Elizabeth Arden, and they thought I'd be great in training. I said, what's training? I had no idea what training was. They said, well, you train the people behind the counter about fragrance. I said, well, I love fragrance, but I didn't know anything about it. They said, well, you'll have to go into, have your orientation at Macy's. I said, Macy's? I'm a college graduate. I don't want to be in Macy's. And the president said, don't you sulk, young lady. It'll be the best experience you ever have. And it was, because you just land up talking to the customer, talking about customer service. There was no way you could judge a person, because the fancy ladies in their rich fur coats would come, they wouldn't want to spend any money. But the little ladies who loved fragrance, and the time we were selling Chloe, they would peel off the dollar bills to get that bottle of Chloe that was so important to them. So I wanted a fragrance. And that started my career. I traveled around the country. I did training seminars at Elizabeth Arden, and then from there I went to Lancome, and then from there I went to Tiffany as